and we're about to go live without masks at Chemist Warehouse. At Chemist Warehouse, you're supposed to wear a mask. So, gonna flip this over and see what happens. Flip it. I like the makeup section. Everyone, as usual. Hi Herbert Moon. I'm not wearing a mask inside Chemist Warehouse. Everyone, this is my friend Kellii. She's the same as me. I mean, at least with this stuff, with the mask stuff. She's been on my channel many times before. Alright. Alright.
It's weird, because normally they have like an Indian security guard.
Yeah.
And they normally tell you off, and then you have to just go through your laws and just tell them no mask, no entry.
It does happen. Yeah.
It does actually, under the Commonwealth Disabled Discrimination Act of Section... Act 1992 and Section 6 and 24.
Got a walking encyclopedia next to me. Now what we'll do is we'll find a little spot to sit, because she told me a story and it really actually infuriated me how stupid like the Australian population is, how like they're all sheep, and particularly the fact that I've been looking for Karen moments, like I'm sort of hoping someone will say, why don't you wear a mask? She's had the moment. She's had those moments, so we'll sit down and we'll quickly talk about it, because it's pretty infuriating, like how these little security guards feel like they're God's gift to authority, right?
Yeah, especially when you're like trying to like put laws and policies in place when it actually irrelevant. Like you got the federal law, like that protects people who are sick that can't actually wear a mask, and then they push in their agenda on these people that can't wear it.
Like shop policy does not trump.
Federal law.
Federal law, exactly.
Yeah.
No. We could probably sit down. I don't know. Alright, well let's turn this around. We'll stop talking for a sec.
I don't think there's many parks around here, isn't there?
Well, maybe not, but we'll find a bench to sit in on and we'll talk to the 7 watching. It's good to be back in Victoria though. It's been a while. I don't know who... Are you guys watching me from America? Are you 7 American? My subs went up recently because I interviewed this guy. Hey dear. Hey Fred, how are ya? What do you guys think of Dan Andrews? Kellii, do you like Dan Andrews?
Oh, love him.
Love him. No, okay. Honestly, he's a crook. He's working for the CCP and Australians don't seem to realise it. So, not a fan, and Kellii here is also very educated on the Dan Andrews situation and also not a fan. But I'm not a fan of, by the way guys, I'm not a fan of the Queensland Premier, I'm not a fan of the New South Wales Premier, and I don't know the other premiers as well, by name or anything, but I don't think any of them have really handled this whole COVID scenario well. So yeah.
I think we can sit here on the bed.
Alright. We'll sit here and we'll start talking to you guys. Okay, so I didn't think I'd be going live, but I think it's a good idea we go live.
How you guys going?
Alright, so tell us your story again. She was telling me a story earlier, made me really angry, so listen to it and tell me what you guys think.
Hi, I'm not like a one case kind of thing. That happens a lot in Victoria, especially with this crazy like laws with mask policy. Like, cool, if you want to wear a mask, do it. But the problem is people don't know how to wear a mask properly. Also the hygiene of it as well. Like, you can't push the agenda of people wearing masks if the public doesn't even know how to wash their hands correctly, let alone putting a mask on.
It's a tissue.
Can
you see that? Yeah.
So, people don't understand you got to wash your hands properly before you put your mask on. After you put the mask on, you got to wash your hands to take it off and wash your hands afterwards.
The reason we know this is because we're both dental assistants.
you know, but also you're only supposed to wear it every 2 to 4 hours as well. So that's why you want to wear a reusable one. A lot of people don't know that. Like, I've been working during this time as a dental assistant for 4 years, and I've noticed a big increase of people getting strep throat. So the bacterial thing is like, you can see how red their throat's getting, which is a common thing of wearing masks. And I noticed a lot of people getting bacteria, fungal thing around the end of their lips from constantly wearing masks and people not washing them. So, you know, people don't understand that, like, there's actually pros and cons from wearing a mask, but a lot of people can't wear a mask. These are the people that can't wear one, people that suffer from trauma. It could be physical, it could be mentally, it could be sexual abuse that people, you know, triggers them. First of all, people have any respiratory problems, like asthmatic people, they're not supposed to wear it because it traps bacteria in their throat and they can actually cause death. And I have a lot of friends that are asthmatic and they get bullied to wearing it because they get physically and emotionally abused by people in the street, and they have to put it on because they don't want to get to the point. There's people who are depressed, you know, suicidal, you know, anxiety,
and they can't wear masks.
You know, and there's other people out there. Yeah, so that's basically it. I know a lot of people, even from the internet world, like, as well as personal life, they got abused, as well as they actually have a medical certificate and have to show them because they don't want to go to places where they have to be asked to leave and ask for a medical certificate, and they show them, they kind of look at them and tell them to go away, even though that's against the law. Like, a lot of companies are doing it. Doesn't any man construction tell you that doesn't stop you from breathing in dust? Yeah, I know. And
You're right, Fred.
And there's a person, unfortunately, he was in the construction industry like a couple of months ago, didn't wear a mask. Someone dobbed him in, he lost his job, he got fined, and the business got fined, I think, about $100,000.
What? For wearing a piece of tissue over your effing face?
If you look at the CDC policies of mask wearing, it says you shouldn't be wearing extreme weather, like outdoors, and if you work with machinery, you shouldn't be wearing it. And, you know, like, if you're in a construction site with lots of noises, you kind of want to be able to, you know, be able to talk properly and understand you, because people muffle in their masks. So that's the reason where we're going. Masks don't work, particles still come out. Yeah, I know.
If you, like, I think I put a video up recently of a doctor wearing a mask, and he was smoking, and all the smoke comes out anyway.
Yeah.
So it doesn't do anything.
Yeah, and then also people can't correctly wear it. Like, we still walked around and still had half the people wearing masks had them down to the mouth or past the mouth. So there's no actually point wearing a mask.
There's no point in wearing a mask.
You know, so my story, short story short, there's a company called My Chemist Warehouse. It's been really known
just in there.
For even just recently. It's like happened to me 2 weeks ago. That is really, really pushy with their genders. They think that because it's still a policy you have to wear a mask, which is actually not, because it's, you know, the federal law, and then that's the policy, you know, still policy. So for whatever it is, it trumps over it. So basically my story was I went to My Chemist Warehouse. My Chemist Warehouse. After I went to the doctors, I didn't buy the dhhs.gov.au website. It says you don't need a medical certificate, and if you have a lawful
Hang on. At the job sites I work on in the Boston area in America, if the cops catch you without one, you get fined $500.
Yeah, but that's the same thing it had here. But if you had a lawful reason, so if the cops ask you, or if you go to somewhere somewhere at the store and the manager asks you, all you have to say to him, you don't need a medical certificate, and you don't actually, all you have to say you got a lawful thing. It's
Guys, I think you should all be walking around with the law in your hands. You're gonna have to. Absolutely right, Fred. You have to change them regularly, as well as because they clog up. Yeah. So
Yeah.
do what Kellii does. Kellii obviously walks around with all the relevant screenshots that show the facts regarding how to wear the mask, when to wear the mask, and who
shouldn't wear a mask, and what your laws are in that state or country, because there's no point making people have mandatory masks for asthmatic or people that have respiratory problems where it causes more harm and the doctors tell them not to. You know, you have to know your rights. Even if the store policy and they kick you out, you can actually go to the government websites and actually put a claim down, and if they get enough of them, they get in trouble, or you can actually sue them if you wanted to. I just want to be more aware of people out there. Oh yeah, he's definitely in bed with China. We already know that.
Yeah.
People still are blind to it. But yeah, just be mindful. Like, I had an incident like 2 weeks ago when the skinny little Indian so-called, security
Security
guard.
guard.
Was he didn't even wear his mask properly. It was just past his nose, and he had the audacity to say, excuse me. I just walked past him and look at him. He had to pop me on the shoulder, so he wasn't even social distancing at that time.
What a dumbass.
And then he's like, oh, where is your mask? And I was like, I don't need a mask. I have a lawful thing, lawful reason. And he goes, oh, can you please wear a mask? I'm like, no. And then he goes, oh, do you have a medical certificate? I'm like, no, I don't, because the DHHS on the government website updated, so I don't need to walk around with it. And I'll say, I can show you. And I was like, get my phone out. And he goes, oh, he went on a blah, blah, blah. And I said, look, I need to talk to your manager. Like, this is against the law, because he said something about the store policy when I was like looking for it, showed him, and he goes, oh, and then he got the manager out, and we talked, and I said, look, I have a lawful reason not to wear a mask. I don't need a medical certificate because the DHH law says I don't need one. And she goes, oh, the store policy? And I'm like, no, the federal government and your store policy is irrelevant. And I said, and I went on a spiel about the Commonwealth 1992 Act with the Disability Discrimination Act, which is Section 6 and Section 24.
Section 6 and Section 24. See, she knows, guys. You should all know this.
And she was dumbfounded, and she goes, oh, but the store policy? I'm like, no. And then I said, I can get sued for this, and you guys had a big outbreak before, you denied a few people and you had apology. And he goes, oh, okay. He goes, oh, but we have a new law because we're part of the health, blah, blah. I'm like, no, you don't. I work in the dental clinic. You do. Even the doctor's clinic, no, you don't have to. And I'm like, if it is, please print it out. Make sure you get an updated one, and please print it out because I want to see it. She goes, oh, okay. She leaves like a couple of seconds. I looked over. She didn't even go near the bench. She just quickly came back. She didn't even talk to anyone. She goes, oh, the printers are busy. And I'm like, yeah, I know. And then she goes, oh, I'll let you go in the store. You're going to be really quick. And I'm like, yes, I spent 5 minutes talking to you guys. I would have been out here by now.
Yes.
And because you're talking to me without a meter and a half away from me, not even social distancing me this whole time, like, me being here explaining my laws is worse than me just going in and out.
Yeah,
and she goes, oh, she's like, yeah, but, blah, blah. And then she goes, I don't want to wear a mask too. I'm like, you don't have to if you have a lawful reason.
Stop wearing a damn
mask.
mask.
And she goes, oh, okay. And then when I was walking the whole time, they're eyeing me off. I'm like, what do you think I'm going to do? Still? This is the problem. There's so many people out there who can't wear masks and they're getting bullied. People who experience sexual, physical, mental abuse, people who are suicidal, who have depression, anxiety, and people who don't speak English, and other disabled, disabilities. And they're getting pushed and shoved, and they're putting their health in risk just to fit someone else's gender. And who cares if you're wearing a mask?
I don't care if someone wants to wear one or doesn't.
It's there to protect you. Who cares?
Who cares? One of the people said while you were talking that you can always just take your money elsewhere.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do now.
Yeah.
But I just want to feel my point across. I don't know. I think it's that kind of thing. It's people need to be educated. And that's why I stack
But very few are, sadly.
But no, it's just funny how you get them in that position and then they change it from a store policy to a federal thing that changed. I'm like, no, that's not true.
And also someone else said, what do you think of someone named Chad Michael Miller? I don't know who that is, so I can't tell you.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's all. Just a quick little live. I'm not going to be doing any regular shows until sometime in January, guys, by the way. And also, it said Chad Paul Miller. I don't know who that is.
I don't know who.
Yeah, sorry guys, we can't respond to that because we don't know who that is. It's awful to see a person wear a mask far away from anyone else.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's awful to see a person in a car driving in their own space still wearing a mask. Well, what are you doing, bro? You're in your own space. Oh, there's another comment. Nice one, ladies. Thanks.
Thank you. Yeah.
Maybe you should be my first guest back this year. Earlier this year, twice actually, I've had Kellii on my show twice now. The second time she went with, it was me and Dr. Sherry Tenpenny's assistant actually. So it was a good show, got a lot of views. And I wanted a Victorian eyes. Now that I'm in Victoria, I can see how bad it is. At some level, because it's not horrible, but it's gonna get worse.
I think America's really bad at the moment.
Paul Miller, you didn't, oh, Paul Miller, yes. I don't mind the guy. I don't know why you wrote Chad Paul Miller. Oh, Chad meaning he's a Chad.
Yeah, oh, okay.
Sorry, yeah. What do I think of him? I don't agree with his racist views. I don't want races liquidated, but I got along well with him. We laughed. Yeah.
That's the thing with freedom of speech. Even though I don't agree with some people's thought of views,
Well,
but
yeah.
I still want them to have it because throughout history, we've fought so hard throughout history, like many countries, even to this
Oh my
day,
gosh,
other countries
20.
out there.
Hi guys.
Hi.
20.
Yeah, even then, like, with people still fighting the rights to have free speech, like, you know, regardless you believe what I believe about, like, we still have to respect each other and
I believe
understand
in
each
God.
other.
I believe in
Yeah.
God. She doesn't, but we're friends.
Yeah, it's all about respect. Like, I don't care. Like,
Yeah.
people need to understand and be more open-minded and don't get too, I don't know, everyone, it's all about hurting people's feelings. I don't give a shit, like, about your feelings.
Facts don't care about your feelings. I care about your feelings
there's
if
too
like
many
you're a close
snowflakes.
friend. Okay, question. Do you guys support Assange? I like that Assange leaked all that stuff about Hillary
Oh,
Clinton.
yeah, same.
Yeah, I think I
Same
support
with Edward
Assange.
Snowden. But the problem...
This should have been laughed out of existence at the beginning.
I think a lot of people did actually at the start, but then like where I work, a lot of them are Karens in a rich area, and they're always like, Dan, I stand with Dan, kind of thing. I'm like,
There's two kinds of Karens though. There's the good ones and the bad ones, and those are the bad Karens.
And even if you state the facts of what he done wrong, the corruption and what he didn't do.
the UK, it's 2:29
Oh.
a.m. Great to see. Oh,
Thank you.
we're happy to be like-minded with you, pal.
Yeah, so I just think that's the problem with our society. Like, even if you got them caught for corruption and not taking responsibility for their own actions, they still get praise, and that's really sad. People didn't know about the hotel quarantine. That's why we went into these major lockdowns,
Herbert.
because of his mistakes and his corruption.
Yeah. So Herbert Moon says hi from Geelong.
Oh, hello.
Hello. Well,
Yeah.
I'm really pleased that a bunch of you tuned in. I usually only get about 5 watching. I got 23 watching me now. So random. Anyway, this is Kellii.
Hi.
She'll be on my channel often because she's one of the few friends I have that I can discuss this kind of stuff with. The Great Reset is the New World Order with lipstick. Yeah. It is. I did a couple of videos on it, guys. Get my videos over 1,000 views and share my videos on the Great Reset. They're really good, I promise.
It's funny now, they're not even like, everyone was a conspiracy thinking about Agenda 21 and 30, and now it's actually put in the Times magazine and everywhere. Like,
Everyone's talking about it. It's not even a secret anymore.
and people are not even, you know, like, yeah, the conspiracy theories are right. They're just like, they still think they're crazy, even though it's written down in paper.
Would
like,
you
the
take the
mainstream.
vaccine? I'm not going to take it.
No.
I know Kelly's not going to take it, but many will.
Just so they can have they want normal rules back. They want to be able to travel, but the thing is,
I want to be able to travel, guys. I'm in that category, but I'm not going to take the vaccine. Conspiracy facts, not theories. Klaus Schwab is not the Antichrist, but he's certainly working with the other globalists.
Yeah, so I think that's really good. Like, I think people are now aware of like the vaccinations, what your rights are, and what they can actually do to you. Like, why are people getting serious reactions from this COVID vaccine trial, and they wouldn't even get it from the normal coronavirus if they had it? And people still like, oh, it's better than you get corona. Like, Red Cross Australia did this survey about, and they said 84% of this is 84. I don't really go off like statistics like as a dead set. They said once they did join in their research, they said 84% of young people under 40 said they're scared of getting coronavirus. I'm like, it's a fucking flu. It's just twice as deadly, and that's what the CDC actually announced.
It's a variation on the original flu, and it's been around for what, 20 years?
Almost 20 years. I remember there's an article in 2003 that said there was a new strain of corona and they didn't know how bad it was going. And that's, you know, almost 20 years ago.
Yeah. Have you never had a flu shot? I've had a flu shot, but I haven't had one in about 4 or 5 years.
It made me seriously sick. I had it twice, and it made me seriously sick than actually having the normal cold.
You probably
flu.
shouldn't say that because you're in the dental industry. You're supposed to get the flu shot.
No, you're not. It's not actually part of mandatory.
Oh, it's not mandatory?
No.
I thought it was. I haven't had the flu shot in years, and I used to work in the dental industry too.
It makes me seriously sick, like really, really bad.
Corona's more like a bad flu.
It is. It's only twice as deadly as a normal flu. They thought it was 8 to 12% like at times deadlier than normal flu, and they realised after a couple of months of research, it's only twice as deadly.
900 flu deaths last year.
Yeah.
How many flu deaths this year? Big blackout coming soon worldwide. Oh, you're probably right, and I'm probably going to lose my internet. The whole grid is going down. They will blame it on hackers and call it a cyber terrorism. David Jones. Okay, thanks for that info. I know something like that's coming. I haven't heard it that way, but
But you are right about the vaccines are a time bomb, because this few of the drug companies as well as the CDC says if you're a woman and you're pregnant or planning to have children, you shouldn't be having the vaccine. And unethically, you're not supposed to get pregnant women tested with vaccines, because they still don't know.
thanks Billy Hill. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, so you don't know, like, they don't know what the effects are, and you can't rush something for less than a year.
No, you really
It should take
can't.
5 to 8 years. And even if you looked at what pregnant women should have as a vaccine, they said anything live vaccines you shouldn't have, because they don't know what the capability is. Even if you have yellow fever vaccination and you're a pregnant woman, they haven't even done the research what happens to a pregnant woman.
Mm-hmm.
So you know what I mean, like.
Someone just wrote, what makes them sick is knowing how many celebrities have been on Jeffrey Epstein's island.
Oh yeah,
It's all
same.
connected. Somehow all this crap is connected. These people are all friends with the globalists, and the celebrities will have their electricity and internet and we won't, and we'll be in bread lines.
It's funny how when they first came out the lockdown to protect everyone, they got all the celebrities together in their multi-million-dollar houses telling us to stay home.
Yeah,
don't do
F off,
this,
Ellen
this.
DeGeneres.
And then
F
next
off,
minute,
Beyonce.
and then the only people like happy about the like this lockdown, and people still getting money from the government, or they're
Uh-huh.
making more money from the government.
Yes.
And everyone else is not getting it, are getting poorer and poorer and sick because they can't pay their bills or eat properly.
Exactly right. What would you say? Hang on, guys. Your comments are going. What?
Yeah, there will be a lawsuit in 10 years' time, because
Oh,
a lot
hopefully.
a lot of the governments now are saying, even our ScoMo president of Australia, Scott Morrison, I call him ScoMo because he's a loser, he even said that there won't be any accountability for any of the vaccines from Corona, any like financial. So there's not going to be people jumping up and down to get it done.
Mr. Bill Hilly wrote that the Australian federal government blocked
Clive Palmer's $5 million worth of, yeah, I've heard that.
the hydrochloroquine tablets he donated for Australian federal government. That's bad.
Yeah, I remember him having an interview on it, even though I hate Clive Palmer's, but I think he's trying to do his best he can do, even though
She hates a lot of people, but she still gives them credit when they do the right thing.
So yeah, same with Pauline Hanson. I really don't like a lot of her things, but she is right about China, and she is right
Yeah.
about the corona. She's asking the one investigation of like
Jimmy Savile, no.
who actually died from corona, with or from corona, and that's the problem. Even Brett, our Minister of Health, even confirmed that people are dying with corona more than from corona.
Exactly. Rules. Look up Jimmy Savile. All right. Rules for thee, but not for me.
Yeah.
Like Gavin Newsom. Exactly. The vaccine was in development years before. Was it? I thought it was rushed. Luciferian as an ingredient. Luciferase as a and of obvious omens. Oh, 666. Yeah, it's very biblical. It's very biblical. Yes, Clive is an IBIS, but he had a good heart.
Yeah, so there's a lot of people I really don't like, and there's some people I do, and even some of the people I don't like, I give them credit where credit's due. Like, I don't like ScoMo. I think he's a piece of shit.
I don't like him
think a lot
anymore
of people do
either.
him. But the fact that he stood up and said to other countries, we need a private investigation of China and see, like,
That's a good thing. Yeah.
there's a lot of things that people don't understand, and I think it's very essential for us as human beings to find out what happened with this virus. Was it the
We need
fact
to
that
know.
it was planned, or was it did it escape from the lab, or was it used intentionally and they used it taking advantage of the situation? Because what China's actions are done now says they're using it as an advantage. Like, there's a place between China and Russia on the borderline that in I think it's 1870 is when we had the opium war with UK as well as China, and they took a bit of Chinese land, you know, at that time, and they gave it to Russia, and they're fighting it back to get that place. But also the borderline of India and China. China's starting to take
Mongol.
more areas, and they're planning to put a few more dams there, which will take a lot of the water source from India and a lot of other countries around there. And they started a war there a couple of months ago. They're
Jeez, you know your stuff.
They're also starting a war with Taiwan. They're also starting a war with Korea, as well as Japan. There was, you know, they've been known for like using international illegal fishing and using it as a military way around there. So they'll actually go into Korea's sea a fair bit, as well as the Japanese sea illegally, which is their international sea, and using fishing there, and Korea had enough and blew them up, which is fucking good on them. Like, you know, and now they're trying to spend $200 million on a military base, which is they call it a fishery, off Australia, and they want to make that into a military base.
If you guys want to know the stuff that she knows, her Instagram is constantly full of updates. What I'll do is I'll add her Instagram tag in the description box below so that you guys can follow her, because she's chock-a-block full of knowledge.
So that's why I really think people shouldn't be care about the coronavirus.
I believe in God, she does not.
I think people should open their eyes and see what China's actually doing. You know what I mean? Like, that's the most scary thing. Everyone's concerned about this, but then not looking at the real problems, what's happening, you know? And like what they're doing with the tax, you know, with Australia, with the barley, the wine, the lobsters, the wool, you know? They're pulling bullying tactics, which is classified as war, what they're doing, you know?
It's kind of like a Cold War without...
Yeah, I think it is a Cold War. Yeah, and, you know, everyone's ganging up on them.
No guilt by association, dear. She doesn't care being seen with me. She's not one of those people who, like, because, like, the government and people are tracking me. You're not afraid to be seen with me.
That tracks everyone.
Yeah, true. And no guilt by association. I am a dissident to the country. I have lost my bank account, no thanks to Commonwealth Bank being stupid and being doxxed, but nah. Kelly's not afraid of me, thank God. Because then I'd have no friends left. It was a pandemic, a bioweapon. The thing is though, guys, don't be so quick to blame China. It may have all happened in China, but I think the globalists got together and it was planned out to occur there so that we superficially would blame China, and they are...
But there's other things other things coming out now that China's doing their own investigation, putting the blame on other people. They were saying
they blamed India, they blamed Australia, and Italy.
They blamed Italy, and because they have someone, and they're also in America. They found out they had it in December. So a lot of things we don't know. It could be like it's sort of like a Spanish flu. It could have happened somewhere else, but because China found out about it, and they're the last ones that had a big group of people got it. But that's the thing. We need to have a private investigation and find out what it is. And
I'm not quick to blame China. I am quick to blame them for the government overreach, and I think that they will end up ruling the world. But in terms of who started the Wuhan flu thing, I think that was something that Bill Gates and all of them figured out together and popped it there or whatever.
But even when SARS 1 happened, it's because of the horrible conditions that the animals put into their wet farms, you know, and like we know that's going to breed. We know a lot of the viruses that do mutate in China because of their lifestyle being dirty. Most of them are quite dirty, you know, most of them don't have, you know, they live in poverty where they don't have access to clean water.
It's
how
very
they prepare
sad.
their food, what animals live close together and what they feed the animals, you know, like for example, people don't know like pigs are like, you know, a lot of religious cultures, you know, the Muslims and the Jewish don't eat pig because it's filthy, because at that years and years ago they knew that a lot of the viruses and a lot of mutations, you know, go towards humans, and that's why they don't eat it. And because they play in the mud and they're dirty, but they're cute animals though.
Oh yeah, they are cute. How much of a Chad is Paul Miller? Paul Miller's a Chad. Why do you guys keep asking me about Paul Miller? He's in America, I'm in Australia. Nothing will happen. Even the MMR jab that babies get are full of cancer cells. That is a fact. You're probably right. Guys, I would look into you all getting on board with Dr. Sherry Tenpenny. She's completely schooled on this topic. She's even been on my channel. I saw you interview Gypsy Crusader. I know, my interviews, I've done 2 interviews with him. Make sure you check out the other one. It's part of a documentary that I just made that's already out. So be sure to check that out. It's in the community section of my channel. Do you agree with Gypsy Crusader? No. So it's sunny in the speed cameras, democracy of Victoria, and in Newcastle it's nice and raining here. Well good, I'm glad it's raining. I love rain. I'm not one of those people who hates rain. All famous media, news brands are fake, pretty much. Yeah, we agree with that. I have no idea what is going on in China. If they are really this new emerging superpower, they're not new. They've been a superpower country for years. The West. Stop the masquerade. Can you both kiss each other? I'm not a bisexual. She is. She's bisexual. The vaccine is anti-Christian. Yes, I know.
And that's the problem with I'm all about pro-choice. So I think people should have the respect and they should be educated what they want to put in their body and what they want to do with their body.
That's the thing. Sorry, stop.
Sorry, and but the problem is
She's pro-choice, and she's pro-choice for babies as well as the vaccine. But the pro-choices on the left are mandating the vaccine. Does that make sense?
So there's people going to do stuff what they want to do regardless of your opinion, and I don't give a shit because it's their life. This is my life, and if you don't like what the other people are doing, don't care. Focus on yourself. And I think that's the problem. There's such a big movement these days, and a problem with a lot of movements is they pick and choose what they want instead of saying to their core values. And I'm a pro-choice, saying that I believe people should have the right whatever they do. Just educate yourself. If you want to be a smoker and smoke 10 packs a day, or how many packs, or you're an alcoholic and you drink that many, I don't really give a shit. That's your life and your decision. You should take responsibility for your own decision, your own.
Sure.
And with this vaccine and people who are pro-choice are telling people that mandatory do, I'm like, you talk a lot of shit. Like, for me, I'm like, it's your life. If you want to have the vaccine, go ahead. But you've got to have your consequences of your actions. And if I don't get it and I get COVID and I die, it's my fault, my responsibility. So I think people have to understand that and respect that.
Do I think there's going to be a race war in our lifetime? Look, it's possible. The whole race thing has come up all of a sudden.
I think it's been blown for a while, but I think a lot of people lost their jobs.
Exactly. People are bored and they're looking for a bandwagon.
And a lot of those people who are lost their jobs are the black poverty people, and that's why they went into a big thing because, they felt alienated in their life.
Go follow Rachel Seller. She's awesome and knows about vaccines. She used to vaccinate in the military and now she's a whistleblower. Good. I will follow her. I'll go through these comments later, guys, and
yeah, I know. Sadly, Kellii, where we let people do what they want, we get that's the problem. But that's the thing. I'm pro-choice of what you want to do without hurting other people intentionally. But the problem is, whatever they do in Hollywood, you can't affect it. What happened with Epstein? People would chuck their hands up for 2 days, and then COVID happened. No one cares about him. And if you bring it up, it's there's more things going on.
Yeah. Do I think Gypsy Crusader is white? Oh my gosh. Gypsy Crusader looks kind of like me. We have similar phenotypes, so I don't really know. And I'm considered a woman of color, even though I'm 79% European. I find it hypocritical how baby boomers are telling millennials to obey and get vaxxed. Baby boomers were the generation who didn't like being told what to do. Now they're bossing. Yes. It's called hypocrisy.
So with me and my set of baby boomers, I think they're the worst kind of generation that ever existed. The reason why they're the most hated, from generations above them and generations below them, because they call us selfish and they're the ones selfish. They're so hypocritical.
They are. Oh, guys, we're probably going to have to go, but it's been a great conversation. Maybe we'll do one of these soon, a proper one, with a nice background with my laptop rather than my phone. Guys, I might give you guys a treat and I'll head to her house in a couple of weeks and we'll do a nice little proper live and inform you guys of real things. Even though we're doing that now, it's sort of off the cuff. This will be the last comment, okay? For the vaccine to be effective, it has to beat the immune system rate of survival, which is 99.8 effective to survive this thing based on their own made-up stats.
Yeah.
What do you think about Generation Z? I don't really, to be honest, this is so embarrassing. I don't know all of the terms of these generations. I need someone to update me. But anyway. No more questions. These people know this. See you at the next stream, beautiful girls. Thank you.
Enjoy yourselves. Enjoy the day.
Enjoy the day.